So now we talk about the interface between Icon HD and the personal computer. First of all, we need to have installed the Dive Organizer software on our PC. Dive Organizer comes on a PC with the computer in the same box, but you can also download it from the MARIS website. Once installed, you start the program, and now we need to establish the connection, the physical connection between the Dive computer and the PC. We do this with this item, where we can see that we have mating parts between electrical connections on this item and on the Dive computer. We do this by bringing this over carefully, not to break it. Then we can take the USB cable and we insert it on this end. And now we take the other end and we insert it into the PC. What happens next is that I get a confirmation display on Icon that tells me that there is a USB connection. I also heard the little noise in the PC that tells me that the USB connection has taken place. And if now I move my cursor over the computer tab, I see all these 6 entries. The first one, info. This allows me to enter personal information onto Icon HD. Let's define my name as John Smith. Then I might enter a phone number. Let's just do a typical 555-1212. And an address. I could also have a Dan insurance number and things like that. Let's click OK, and off we go. We will see what this did later on when we unplug the Icon HD Dive computer from the PC. Let's look at the next voice. It says firmware update. Now, Icon HD is reprogrammable, and that is a very important feature because it means that even though you may have bought the computer today, all the benefits that will come over years of development at MARIS are still available to you. We will present new firmware updates once in a while, and you can have the benefit of this by updating your computer. Once you choose that entry on the list, you get this window. You click on here, you navigate through your PC with a standard dialog box to find the file that you downloaded from the internet. For instance, it would look something like this. The firmware files have a termination ENC, as in encoded. You click on the one that you want to upgrade to, and then click on Program. I'm not doing this now because the computer is already upgraded, but this would be the process. It takes approximately 5 minutes, and it gives you a confirmation when it is finished. Next is download Logbook. I mean, this is something that maybe is the most common use of having a PC interface because you want to transfer your memories from the Icon HD to the PC. Upon clicking on that entry, first this dialog box comes up. The PC is now reading the memory, and once he's done, he will present with a list of what he has found. Then you can either click on Select All, or you can individually select the files, and then you click on Import Selected Dives. After doing this, the dives will be presented in list format in a window like this. By the way, at this point I should mention that the memory in Icon HD is capable of storing 100 hours of dive profile at 5-second sampling intervals. So it's an amazing amount of detail that you can reproduce on your PC, and still a vast capacity so that you don't need to worry about downloading your computer every week. You could do it once every 6 months and still not lose a single dive. So we have a dive list format within Dive Organizer, and you can just click on one dive and then move over to the Dive Chart tab and see that in an enlarged view. You can move through the dive either by clicking, moving the mouse and clicking in points of the profile, or you can move with the arrows, and that of course, because of the detail in the dive, takes a little bit longer because it goes step by step. But you also have on the display reproduced what Icon showed during the dive itself. You have a representation of the tissues in the algorithm, whether they're on-gassing or off-gassing, and lots more. Let's now look at this item here, upload images. This is a very interesting feature, and this is where the full color, higher resolution display of icon really shines. We can, by means of this option, transfer images from our hard drive on the PC to icon. Any file that is a JPEG format can be transferred this way. And there is room for about 25 pictures. And it's really independent of size of the picture itself, because even though you may have a 20 megabyte file, a 20 megapixel file, once you transfer it to icon, Dive Organizer reformats it automatically so that it is in the 320 by 240 pixel format. So let's see how this works. I will go click on the plus, navigate through my PC until I get to the folder with the images that I would like to upload. And so let's, for instance, take a sample image of the winter, and now I click on this arrow to transfer the image from the PC to the icon. This will take a few seconds only, and there you see it. This is my representation now on icon. We will, in a second, once we unplug it, see how it actually looks on icon itself. Another step that I can perform is upload maps. Now, this happens in the very same way as we did for the images. The differentiation between the two is simply that images and maps are stored in different locations, because only those stored under maps can be called up during the dive. This is just for easier navigation and a differentiation between what you may want to look at during a surface interval, show pictures of your girlfriend to your dive buddies, and what you actually want to see during the dive, which is the map of the dive site. So here we see that it is already loaded onto Icon HD, and we'll see in a second how this actually looks like on the dive computer itself. So at this point, we have pretty much seen what we can do as far as interfacing between the PC and icon. So let's unplug it and see the result of our work. First of all, on the main display, I see this little icon here with a little person that, once clicked on, gives me this information page that I have entered at the beginning. We also entered pictures, images and maps. So let's go into the Photos folder, and we see that we have this image here. Now notice the resolution and the color. This is the only dive computer in the world that allows you this clarity. And if we go into the dive maps, we see as a different folder these images. And as an example, this is the dive site, one of the dive sites here near the Maris factory off the coast of Portofino. Now this is an image that I could call up during the dive, use it for orientation, and then go back to the regular computer display. This concludes this session about interfacing between Icon HD and the PC. We hope to have entertained you, that you have enjoyed it. And more sessions will follow. For instance, we will have a session about diving with multi-gas. In the meantime, happy dives to everybody.
Maris, just start water.